What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish. We're back at it again with episode 5 of Educate and Dominate, the educational one-on-one interview style series, bringing you the best of the best, getting you that information to take your game to the next level. My next guest is a person that needs no introduction, always sitting at the top 30, top 20, top 10, whenever you can catch him. His name is Mevrid, and he is with Clan Malicious. What's going on, my man?
Hey, what's up, Childish? Thanks for having me, man.
Oh man, thank you for dealing with me because we've had ourselves an interesting ride the last 24 hours. I can't. I might as well just do it because I mean it's only right, right? Let's go ahead and put it out there. I just recently made a video with Mevrid and unfortunately I somehow lost the footage. So epic fail for my guildies that are watching right now. Congratulations, because this is what I do for a living. I fail miserably and I intentionally embarrass myself. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. A lot of these people have seen you in the top ranks, but they don't know, your current situation as far as where you started in the video gaming world and how you led up to the Summoners War game today.
Oh yeah, no problem. Basically, I've always been a gamer. First system I ever had was a Super Nintendo. Got me hooked on games for life, basically. Kind of moved on to PC gaming in my high school years. Played a game that everybody plays. I'm sure most people that play computer games have played World of Warcraft at some point or another.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
yeah, played that pretty highly competitively for through high school and about halfway through college. Uh, was in one of the top guilds in that game called Blood Legion, probably one of the top American guilds. And once college started getting a little harder, I had to kind of cut it out of my system. And yeah, then I kind of moved on to more casual gaming, which is what I consider like mobile gaming, and that's kind of what brought me into Summoner's War.
Very, very nice. And you are, if I remember correctly, you are with Clan Malicious.
That's right.
All right, so you want to kind of give us a little brief overview on Clan Malicious, how they've done so far, how long have you guys been together, some of the top names in there, and just kind of your history overall.
Yeah, sure. So I think I'm actually the second newest member in that guild. I think I joined them right as the Asian server and global server were splitting, and pretty much nobody has left. One person's left the guild due to real life stuff, and one new person's joined, and it's pretty much the same group of people. We do pretty good for ourselves. I think we've grabbed like the number one Guild War slot, like 7 or 8 times now out of like in 3 months. So I think we did a pretty good job in that.
Big baller shot caller. That's what we call you over here in Omaha, Nebraska.
yeah, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Like I said, I think if you want to enjoy your game here, you got to have a guild that you enjoy being with. It keeps you motivated, and having like a social atmosphere as well as like a competitive one. I think makes the game's life longer.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's it's crazy. If there's one thing that I've listened to over the course of my initial 4 interviews, it's the value of how do I say coordination, cooperation, and just communication overall. Being able to communicate with your guildies, being able to sit back and just chat up a storm and talk about different strategies and tactics is it's so vital. It's kind of funny. I play poker on the side, and that's one of the things that I've done to kind of get to where I am. Just talking to people about different strategies, tactics, and whatnot, and it's kind of funny because I think that communication level, trying to mix with people at your level, regardless if it's a video game or a card game or real life, it's just so valuable. I mean, even you could take it to the professional world and talk with people and trying to up your game and whatnot. So it's crazy.
Oh, definitely for sure. I think, just as an example, I think when I started in the guild, I was probably me and like one other person were the only two Guardian 3 players. And I think now we have like easily like 7 players that can hit Guardian 3 and keep it on reset night if they really want to. So, just, the tips and tricks that we kind of pass along with each other. There's a lot of nuances in this game that can make you, more successful. It's really helped our guild. I'm pretty sure everybody in the guild can at least probably hold Guardian 1, Conqueror 3 if they want to. So
Yeah, true. And from my understanding, you generally am holding Guardian 3, more times than not. I mean, obviously, if you take a little bit of break, you'll drop down a little bit. But for the most part, it's not too hard to maintain Guardian 3.
yeah, if I just use my 10 invites every day, I can pretty much easily, I think, hold top 10. Some days I don't even use it. I just use it on, rivals. Because, I still like having a crystal income, even though I'm, pretty highly, competitive in arena. But yeah, it's pretty easy to hold Guardian 3 with my current AD. So, that's what helps you hold through rank is your AD.
Good deal. All right, so since I mean you're holding Guardian 3, but just like everybody, just like you, or just like me, we all started from the ground up. So I kind of want to get into this next question or kind of part of the interview that I like to call Zero and Hero, and that's basically talking about when you got into the game, how you kind of started and how you kind of worked your way up to the ranks and some of the tips and tricks that you utilize to take your stuff, to that next level. So can you kind of enlighten us and talk about the different things that you incorporated in your game?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I was kind of I guess I wouldn't say I was unlucky, but I guess a lot of my original light dark pulls and early natural 4-stars were all like support type units. So I wasn't fortunate enough to have like super grand arena monsters for offense, but I did pull quite a few monsters for defense. So the first monster I ever pulled from my Phaemon Light Dark Scroll is actually Iona, which is the Light Epicon Priest.
Nice.
Yeah, so probably she's like a top tier 80 monster. For sure in the Conqueror G1 range, and she kind of falls off a little bit the higher you get, just because she's really only useful in like a double revive type comp. But yeah, so I was able to hold defense or hold 80s pretty easily. But when I started, I didn't focus on arena at all hardly. I pretty much held like fighter 3 conk 1 rank most of the time. I was too busy farming runes in giants. I've been farming giants B10 since the imp days, where people were running like 3 imps, shielder, and crit leader skill, and that's how I got my original 6-star runes and kind of propelled me through the rest of the game.
Nice, very nice. All right. So as far as the next kind of topic that we want to get into, there's a lot of units that we consider in this game, underrated and overlooked, and from what I understand, there's a couple of units here that you definitely have that most people don't have, and I would like to kind of get into that because I think some of the insight that we talked about in the previous recording was without a doubt some of the best stuff I've ever heard, and I want people to kind of get into that. So let's go ahead and hit up Leo. I'm right next to Leo right now, taking a look at his runes. You want to hit us up with that and talk about how his how his skills and whatnot work for you at your level.
Sure. So Leo's an interesting unit. I kind of build mine like a little bit differently than I would if I didn't have a really good support cast around him. I built him hybrid damage, HP, crit damage, attack. That way he can tank fire nukers really well, like Perna, Brandia, things like that some people have on AD. And he can also dish out the damage. So a strategy I have in common with him is like a Perna, I think, like a well-runed Perna with a second skill without armor break will bring him down just under the 30% HP threshold for Torrent. So usually right after a Perna nukes my Leo, I can start spamming torrents off on the enemy team. That's one strategy I have with him. But the main strength of Leo, because I mean if that was all that Leo had, he'd be just worse than Chow, right?
Right.
So the big thing about Leo is he's like what I call an ATB manipulator. He was really useful, I think, on offense before his buff, but the buff itself actually completely changed his gameplay. It allows you to decide the attack order of the enemy team because he always goes first, and B, he can reduce the attack bar of an enemy unit by 10%. Now, whenever unit's moving at the same speed as Leo, that puts that unit behind in the attack order. So if you have like if you're going up against an AD that has a pesky unit like, say, a Bernard speed team or a Chloe, you can push them to the back and get off your attacks before they get off their speed buff or their immunity shields off. And I think that's where Leo like really shines. He's what I call like a controlling type monster. He's just a conditional damage dealer. So I put him like a B rank in damage dealer and like A rank support type unit, or actually more like S rank, like low S rank.
And I noticed you got him, runed up on the violent set. Two questions for you. If you were to get the lucky jump and get an opportunity to, additionally proc somebody else, would you utilize that on a different unit to kind of set him back as well? And then the second question is, as far as the set that you're utilizing, everybody uses a different rune set, and some are considered, optimal for them or optimal in general. Would this be considered kind of the end game setup for it, or would there be a better rune set that you would recommend for some of the beginners or intermediate people that maybe don't have your runes at your level?
Right. So your first question about hitting the same target multiple times or spreading it out, if it's the first turn, I would spread it out, because as long as the passive doesn't resist, you want as many units going last, right? Now, as the game, like as the match goes on, say there's an enemy Veramos in this team, and you kind of see that his attack bar is creeping up and can maybe squirm in between your damage or armor breaker and your heavy nuker, I would push the Veramos back further multiple times if I get violent procs. That way I can get my two big attacks off in succession, hopefully one shot something. So it depends on the situation, but yeah, usually first turn I always spread out his attack, so I get more units going first than the other opponent. Now, as for rune sets, I think an ideal rune set for him would be to rune him HP crit damage HP or triple HP. I prefer HP crit damage HP though. That way, whenever you get him low, he has a higher threshold, like a higher HP pool under 30%, and it's not so hard for him to get killed after he goes under 30%. You can pair him up with something like Chasun or something to get off a torrent while it's on cooldown, bring him back up to full HP, rinse and repeat, or and whatnot. But yeah, I would definitely say Violent Blade HP crit damage HP is a good rune, like a good way to rune him. If you want to use him as a pure tank and you have other damage dealers on the team that can kind of fill in, you can definitely go triple HP on him, or HP armor HP or something like that.
Gotcha. Right on. I like it. All right. And so as I'm scrolling down this lovely list of units, I see this light Taoist, I guess we call him. What damn?
Yeah.
Goddamn, what a wreck. I mean,
goddamn annoying is what he is.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just thinking about Trial of Ascension Stage 80 now and how I wanted to throw my phone against the wall for this stupid ass right here. Excuse my language, but God, this guy just messed up everybody's game, and you were fortunate enough to get him. So let's go ahead and talk about him. I mean, because definitely there are a lot of people that were fortunate enough to get him, but everybody that I see, they're just not runed properly or don't really understand how to utilize them to their advantage for both arena offense and arena defense. Talk about that a little bit.
Right. So, in terms of offense, it just kind of lets you be more flexible with runes. Like I said, ideally I'd rune a Leo HP crit damage HP, but with the Huadam, I can actually rune him YOLO build or a hybrid YOLO build and do more damage, just because he's based on what Huadam is basically an HP battery. The way I have him runed is Despair. What's that? Endure. Yeah, there you go. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, Despair, Endure. The whole stats you want with Huadam would be triple HP. That way, whenever a monster receives a death blow, it gives 33% of Huadam's HP. So my Huadam, I think base HP right now is 40k before towers and leader skills and all that stuff. Right. So he's giving the units that are taking death blows back 12k HP. So that's pretty much all he is. The only thing you can really do with him besides making him an HP battery is I kind of made him like a CC unit with Despair. Really, his skills aren't that useful on Violent. You get a random ATB reduction with his AoE, and his first skill has a high crit chance, but his damage is really low, and you're running him like a full HP tank build, which is really all he's good at. But I'd say the way you want to prioritize his stats is A, as much HP as possible, B, as much resist as possible, and C, as much defense as possible. Having 100 resist is really important on him so he doesn't get armor broken by lower accuracy Darians and whatnot.
Gotcha. And then so theoretically, if you were to pair it with a Mara or something like that, even though Mara's hit points might be sitting at maybe 14, 15k HP, if it transfers 30% over, that would essentially fill up her health bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that's OP. Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, I actually run him with Mara quite often against double revive teams.
Oh, nice. Hey, we're thinking on the same level. Okay, I'm up
Yeah.
there. Give me a couple weeks. I'll be at Guardian 3 with you. I got you. I see what you're doing. I see you. All right. So, in addition to I did notice something while going through the units here too. Uh, the value of speed. I know that Scat Fetus is a big one on this one, and it looks like you incorporated with a couple of units. I see a speed rune on Chasoon. I see a speed rune on Darien. Talk about that, the importance of speed and attack sequencing as far as the arena offense and defense goes.
Oh yeah, it's super important. Like, you always want to be as fast as possible, but it's super important to, like, at least on the first couple of turns before like attack bars start getting shifted around, that you have like a good attack sequence off, especially if you're using a one-shot unit, like a Perna, Zera, something like that. You want to have like you don't want a Verma squeaking in between your armor breaker and your heavy nuker. It can just, literally have your damage and, turn the tide of the opponent in their favor. So, I have my monsters like speed timing, so my armor breaker goes, and immediately after my heavy nuker should go. Chasoon is kind of the same way. You kind of want her, just a little bit faster than your damage dealers. That way, she goes, they take damage. They take damage, and when she goes to heal, they go, and then wait, I'm getting all mixed up here. Yeah, you want her to heal when they're at full attack bar. So you want her just I guess a little bit. You want her to do Fallen Blossom when she's just a little bit faster than them, right? So you heal them, and then you get your full attack bar back. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Very, very nice. And so, with regards to units like this, where generally they're not specking speed onto or whatnot. Would you say for some of the beginners and intermediate people that don't have the runes that you have, is there a recommendation for an amount of hit point, overall hit points that they should have before they decide, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that or whatnot? Because obviously you can take out a rune slot for a speed rune or a HP rune for speed runes, but then you might jeopardize so many hit points to the point where it just makes the unit so squishy and it's
right. Yeah. So I guess like the bar that's being held right now is Lushen, right? Because he completely ignores defense.
Right.
He's going to crush every unit that's not a fire unit usually, because fire's like gets a glancing chance against his wild cards or whatever they're called. Amputation magic. So I guess if it depends on what rank you are, but double Lushen, I'd say on average, an average Lushen is probably going to do 20k on amputation magic if every single amputation magic card's critting, and it's very possible if they're running a Seek or a Wind Brownie Magician on their offense. So there's tons of single Lushen offenses out there. You probably want to set the bar for 30k HP against those. Now, eventually, the higher up you're going to get people that have ridiculous double Lushen teams, right? And I wouldn't say like a good Lushen team is probably going to crit for around 24k on amputation magic, and then when they're running two of those, that's okay. It's really hard to ruin even a Chasoon with that high of HP. Even with an HP lead, full HP tower, triple HP runes, you'd need really good substats to get over 48k HP, So you can't really rune against everything. There's other supporting units you need to have. It's more important to have those than try and, go for like 50k HP, because you're going to be losing on any type of kill potential when you're running a team like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, buddy. And so... what was I going to say? It's funny that you mentioned kill potential. Talking about that with regards to Guild Wars. That's something that, a lot of people try to transfer their strategies from Arena to Guild Wars, and it doesn't necessarily work the same. So can you talk about some of the difference between Arena and Guild Wars and how people should, in turn, set up their Guild Wars defense versus their Arena defense?
Sure. I actually fall into the camp where I think having kill potential on an Arena team is very good. The longer it takes to kill, the better, obviously. A lot of people go for stall comps, right, in the last hour or two of Arena, when what they call rush hour. Double revive teams, lots of healing, Brian for attack down, just to delay the death of their team or try and deter people from attacking them, right? Guild Wars is completely different. There's no rush hour per se in Guild Wars. Even which I'd say the main goal in Guild Wars is you want to kill off as many of the enemies like star units before they get to your other compatriot or guildies. That way, they have like less flexibility on making teams to counter your guildies teams, eventually causing them to get more losses. Because basically, like a draw is a win in Guild Wars, in my opinion. So
Right.
yeah, like I said, I think in Guild Wars, a lot of people say they don't like leader skills in Guild Wars. I really disagree with that. I think having a leader skill is like a free rune, right? Like there's some monsters out there that give insane stats. Like I run Annabelle, Water Occult Girl, on one of my ADs in Guild Wars. Her leader skill gives her 38% crit. That just lets me, have so much extra flexibility on her rune stats and lets her have high crit, just because of her leader skill.
Right. And do you utilize that a lot in the arena offense, or what's your normal team you set up as far as doing that? Arena or Guild Wars?
For Arena Offense or Guild Wars?
Or Guild Wars, excuse me, it's Guild Wars.
Oh, okay. So my Guild Wars teams, I have like two pretty different teams. I run the typical generic Veramos, Darien, and Healer, either Chloe or Iona. I think Iona's been working better for me in Guild Wars, so that's what I've been sticking with for now. My other team is my more unique team. It's Annabelle, Leader, Perna, and Huadam. So both teams have pretty good kill potential. I think the first team relies more on violent procs to kill something, though, than the second one.
Right.
But yeah, both I'm actually surprised. Like I was looking at my Guild Wars log the past week. Obviously, my second team's getting more wins, but my first team's actually been getting quite a few as well. So I'm kind of happy with it. I'm going to be changing it up soon. It's kind of secret team I'm making right now, but people will start seeing it soon.
Yeah, we'll keep that on the wraps. I got you. We'll keep that on the wraps. And of course, I'm hitting the last little bit of the units that I'm showcasing for you. I see some new units up in here. I see some Vanessas up in here. I see a Lushen up in here. Somebody went stupid big.
I kind of went on a little summoning spree tonight, like right before our interview. So I pulled the first Okay, so I pulled about 220 scrolls total. Won't even lie here. About the first 200 scrolls, I got nothing but one Lushen. And like the last 20 scrolls of my 220 scrolls, I pulled a Vanessa, Brandia, and another Lushen. So I was actually quite happy with the results. It was totally worth it. I know people have gone like 1,000 scrolls and not pulled anything before. So it was a good night for me.
There you go. Well deserved too. That's after 200 scrolls, I'd be kind of depressed. So it was nice that you were able to finish off with a bang. So
dude, I was getting depressed. I was like, I'm never gonna buy anything in this game again. And Comtua stuck their claws in my back right at the end there.
Jesus. Oh my goodness. So with regards to the going back to the Guild Wars there, we were talking about some of the standard teams that people utilize. I mean, you talk about your team a little bit, but if you were to tell somebody, hey, or somebody's asking you, hey, I'm looking to improve my team, so to speak, with the additional comment that you already made about the leader skill, what are like 2 or 3 basic elements that everybody should have on every single team in order to do a little bit better?
So, there's obviously 3 types of leader skills, I think, that trump most of them. Critical Strike is one of my... people, I don't know, I love Critical Strike as a leader skill. I like the global ones better than the single elemental ones, obviously. Like, Quantum has a 17% crit one, and then there's some others like Vanessa and Arena that has 33 or something. Absolutely ridiculous leader skill. But for Guild Wars... I guess the global leader skills, speed is very important, and I think HP is actually probably the best. If you can get a good speed substat, then that's why I think Veramos is a pretty cookie cutter good leader in Guild Wars, because he brings AoE stun, dots, high speed, debuff clear, self heal. He has it all almost. Yeah. It's actually a little ridiculous, I think, but I think he's probably one of the best leaders. And he's one of the gifts from Kantoas that people should try and get, because he's useful everywhere. Especially when you get him max skilled. Definitely. So yeah, I think he falls into that. Some people I think Barian doesn't use him as a leader in Guild Wars. I think he uses Praha 41 resist all, which is a good one too. It just depends what type of damage you're trying to protect with that leader skill. So the global leader skills are the best, and obviously most of them are going to fall in Nat 5s, but there's some good Nat 4s out there that have great leader skills too, like Tyran, 19% speed globally, very excellent. I've seen some pretty good Tyran ADs in Guild Wars, so there's definitely usable Nat 4 leaders out there that people can get.
Definitely. And so, with regards to the runes that we talked about yesterday, there was one really, really good point that I wanted to mention. There's a lot of, we got a lot of people that are using the end game runes, violent revenge or vampire revenge or whatever the case may be. Generally, is violent revenge or violent something with regards to that. And I noticed on quite a few of your rune sets, you're still utilizing for the units that are scaling off of crit damage or whatnot. You're still using a blade subset. And so we were talking about, sometimes where the blade is kind of, overlooked because we have so many new and exciting runes that sometimes if you don't have that particular, amount of crit rate to hit that threshold, it might make or break you. So I was wondering if you could talk about that since that's kind of unique towards you. I don't see a lot of people do that.
Right. Yeah, like I'm a huge fan of blade runes. People that don't probably like Blade as much have ridiculous crit substats, and I just haven't, had the fortunate luck of rolling, 23% crit substat on any of my runes so far. I've gotten, really good speed rolls, but no good crit rolls. So, like I was saying, Revenge is a great, I think it's a super powerful counter ability, but once you know somebody's team, you can just avoid that monster and not even touch them. Almost every Darien out there is ruined revenge nowadays, and people just don't touch him unless they know they can kill him instantly. So you kind of just lose a whole rune substat because people are aware of what you're using. What is Blade is 12% crit, right? That's just like I said, I feel if I'm not at 100% crit, I'm not critting at all. That's what it feels like.
Right. And the last one I wanted to point out was I was right next door looking at another unit, Vermo. So I think this is kind of a good one to talk about since a lot of people, have the ability to make it, right? It just takes a little time or whatnot. Everybody knows that, when it comes to PvP and guild wars or whatnot, violent is king. But everybody's still kind of playing around with whatever subsets on runes and what. And I have seen more times than not the Guardian 3 players generally, and this goes back and forth, but I see a lot of people utilizing the same sub that you're using with his Nemesis. So I was kind of wondering if you can talk about Nemesis since you don't hear a lot of people talk about that, maybe the importance of it, what kind of units to utilize it on, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, so Nemesis is great on units that will not get one shot generally. They're pretty durable, but can take a decent amount of damage. I think Vermos is like a heavy abuser of Nemesis just because he clears off armor debuffs on himself if he's fast enough. So he's constantly losing health and constantly gaining attack bar. He's probably one of the most I'd say he's one of the most speedy units that's really tanky, right? Other units that are really great with using Nemesis, I think, would be Perna, because you hit Perna, even if you one-shot Perna, right? It brings him to a full attack bar. Perna dies. He comes back alive with a full attack bar. So no matter what, Perna's going to get his attack off and damage off, unless you're using like Iraqi or some other anti-revive mechanic, but the fire Tessarian, fire Ifrit. So let's see. Perna's a good one. Another good one I'd say that's good with Nemesis is Camilla. She halves all crit damage and she's pretty hardy. She heals herself every turn. You can definitely run a Chow like that as well, as long as he's not one-shottable. Any monster that can survive a couple of hits and kind of has like a self-heal or those are generally the best Nemesis users, I think.
Gotcha. And then with regards to some of those tankier, speedier units or just tankier units in general, with some of the units you have, a lot of people are like, bruisers, HP, crit damage, HP, or regular DPS units, you got HP, crit damage, or attack, crit damage, attack. Now, some of the units that you utilize more of a hybrid setup. So can you talk about the importance of a hybrid setup, when it should be used and maybe when it not should be used, depending on how you have it?
Yeah, definitely. I do use a lot of hybrid setup, like Leo, for example. He's one of those monsters that is has high damage potential, but on his normal attacks, don't. So that's why I kind of like running him damage, just in case I get to that threshold where I can put off the huge damage. Another reason would be, let's see, I'm trying to think of another unit I have that's kind of hybrid like that, but you kind of want to have a threshold, say like a common unit in Guardian 3 would be like Fire Monkey King or something.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to be able to survive a violent proc, right? If you're just running an attack or damage attack, you're not going to survive a violent proc. They'll just insta-kill your monster. So, yeah, that's generally my theory behind running at least one HP rune, or if I'm not running an HP rune, I'm trying to find some really good HP substats. Like, what I consider a good HP substats is like 20% plus on a, 135 rune. So, yeah, that's why I use it that way. If you're on, and that's generally talking about like defense. On offense, you can kind of abuse what monsters are going to be attacking each other. So you can probably run like a more YOLO build, attack or damage attack, when you're running it on offense. But on defense, you'll probably want to run, be able to survive violent procs of, the element that the monster's weak to,
Right, definitely. Good deal. And so the next one I had, and then we're pretty much wrapped up here. We'll go ahead and finish it out. I wanted to talk about something that I already kind of hit up for me. Hopefully, you can make me feel good by chiming in. Epic fails, as you guys know that are watching this. I created the Epic Fail Guild a while ago, which is a group of people that embrace the fact of failure, because we know that failure is just a temporary moment in time. It's what you do after that failure to kind of get back on the horse and go. So as you know, or as everybody else knows now, I failed miserably by losing the video footage. So that's why we're doing the second session. But make me feel better by telling me, as well as telling your awesome viewers, what's one of the biggest epic fail stories you've ever had?
So, ironically enough, well, for me personally, I tried to be like a big shot today, and we were up against a popular Redditor mods. Like, I don't know if people browse the Summoners War Reddit, but there's a mod there called Reed Zeeble. He's in a pretty good guild called Aftermath, and I was gonna record record my attacks against all of them, and kind of make like a boast post on Reddit, and auto everybody, and the first two were good, and then their top player, he kind of owned me when I was trying to auto them, so that video kind of went down the pooper. And then like my guild has had some pretty major fails, like forgetting to register for Guild Wars for an entire week.
Oh man,
and,
yeah, I remember that one. That was rough. I remember when you told me that. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay though. It's okay. I mean, you guys still climbed up there and still number one, so so. In addition to Clan Malicious, you want to do any shout outs for any of your friends or fans out there for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I have a Twitch channel. I have like a pretty good follower base. Just wanted to shout out to all them for putting up with my my sailor mouth, and yeah, they're pretty patient with me, and watching me rage in arena. So shout out to them. Shout out to my guild. Like I said earlier, if it wasn't for my guild, I probably wouldn't be playing anymore, because they're really chill, and they make the game lots more interesting.
Good deal. And then you want to just shoot out your URL real quick for those that don't know. I'm going to put it in the comment section down below. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my you can, if you want to watch me, you can catch me at www.twitch.tv/bug_byte, bug bite.
Gotcha. And then is there certain days that you stream just generally, or is it just kind of whenever you feel like it?
Yeah, generally, it's kind of gotten a little more lax. I used to stream pretty religiously, and I stream at least 2 or 3 times a week still, but it's Monday through Thursday, 5 Central to 10 Central is my general schedule.
Good deal. All right, and then the last but not least, let's go ahead and bust out some call-outs. So, knowing what you know and some of the people that you've played across guilds and across, different forums, if there was ever anyone that you would highly recommend to get on board in this interview series and educate the people of the Summoners War community, who would it be and why?
Probably the obvious answer here is going to be Barian. He can pretty much hold legend whenever he wants to. He's got one of the craziest ADs out there. I put him, top of the list of theory crafting. He's got like these insane spreadsheets that has like rune point values, right? Like depending on what the stat rolls on the rune, he has like a point value system made up for it. So yeah, my hat goes off to Barian. I think he's probably the best theory crafter. I actually use his AD to test all my different offenses on. So he's the only one I think that's really worth it testing all crazy stuff on, because he's got probably one of the most unique defenses out there. So definitely Varian.
All right. Well, thanks again, my man. I appreciate you not coming once, but twice on the stream here to go ahead and make this happen. I know that everyone's gonna really appreciate it, but not as much as I do. As you know, I owe you a credit that I owe you a lot more. I owe you big time, so I appreciate it. So thanks again, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. It's your boy Childish and Mevrid with Childish Plays checking out. We will see you in the next video. I'm out.